Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. We are creeping our way through these films all the way to The Last Jedi. And keep in mind, when I make a review for The Last Jedi, I won't be doing it in the same style as my universe reviews. It'll be a different approach. Anyway, if you're new to my channel and you are watching me for the first time, welcome. This is my universe reviews, where I break down all that happens in movies and TV shows as it creates a universe. They all gotta be connected in some way, so that's the purpose of all this. And we're gonna jump right on in to Empire Strikes Back. So, 3 years after the events of the fourth film, or should we say the first film, Luke and the Rebel Alliance are being hunted by the villainous Darth Vader. They are definitely making a name for themselves and have been driven out of Yavin 4 and straight to the ice planet called Hoth. Great place to camp out. Neither you or I would like to go there, as the Empire's not thinking to look for you there either. So you know that that's probably the last place in hell you want to be, but that's where you gotta be. But unfortunately for them, Vader's sending out probes everywhere across the galaxy to look for them. One probe does land in Hoth, and Luke, unsure what it is, goes to check it out, but is attacked by a Wampa, I think that's what it's called. A Yeti-like creature. Why? I don't know. Must be the ways of nature when it comes to these planets. Use the ways of the Force, beware of the forces of nature, and the dark side. Always fear that. Because they have cookies. Han, who has joined the rebel group, is looking to jump ship now that he has his own debt to pay, especially with Jabba the Hutt, and it's amazing he stayed as long as he did. Only downside is upon trying to get out of Dodge, Leia doesn't take too kindly to him leaving, and for the most part, this movie has these two bickering back and forth.
Then why are you following me? Afraid I was gonna leave without giving you a goodbye kiss?
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
I can arrange that.
Definitely tension-filled there. These two really need to address their problems. Like, with kissing.
You could use a good kiss!
Anyway, when Han's not bickering with Leia, he's actually figuring out when people need to return and have that checked in. Meaning Luke. And Luke has not returned. The Jedi has not returned. So he needs to go rescue him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a Return of the Jedi! I am so done with bad jokes. Han realizes Luke hasn't returned, as I said before. So Han goes out to find him, but there's a warning for Han before he leaves that he may die because of the dropping temperatures. And of course, Han kindly replies,
"I'll see you in hell!"
Han finds Luke collapsed in the snowy terrain, but he's bumbling on about Ben, a Dagobah system, and a Jedi Master, Yoda, and is badly wounded from the Yeti. Damn Yeti. Han keeps Luke warm using the creature called Tauntaun for the night while the storm rages on. I gotta say, calling a creature a Tauntaun sounds weird. I know it's a creature, I know it's a name, but it just sounds like something a kid would say. Like, give me the Tauntaun, I want the Tauntaun. I like the Tauntaun. The next morning, they are rescued and find out a probe did indeed land on the surface, and the Empire should be there very soon to destroy that rebel base. Lord Vader waits to see if any of the probes transmitted out, and we get a good shot of the back of Vader's head. For all we know, beyond the sinister music, he's probably just humming to himself.
Hey. Why'd you cut away from me? Does anyone know why the camera cut away? I want answers. I am taller than you, therefore I am superior.
He is pretty tall. But he does indeed receive a transmission from one of the probes on Hoth, and he immediately knows that Hoth is the new hideaway for the rebel base, because he used the Force. They deploy men down to Hoth and they engage in battle. And the battle is pretty damn fun and inventive as a battle sequence. You get practical effects. The CGI holds up pretty well, should I say, and if anything, the mortality rate feels pretty high here, as people die and the stakes feel high. Even Luke, a part of the battle, you feel like he could die at any minute because he does get himself involved in some risky things that could get him killed. And these stakes are so high that while they put up a good fight and a good battle, they actually have to retreat. Han 3PO, who I swear never shuts up in this movie, R2, Chewie, and Leia all have to escape just as Darth Vader reaches the surface just to see the Millennium Falcon get away.
Wait, stop. I just wanted to ask you a question.
Luke watches the Falcon jet away, unknowing that Vader is not even a few miles away from him. But Luke has bigger things to worry about, as Ben earlier came to him as a ghostly force-like vision to tell him that he needs to meet Master Yoda at the Dagobah system. So that's exactly what Luke is gonna do. So as a subplot, if we can call it that, it has to deal with Han and Chewie trying to fix their Millennium Falcon. Throughout the beginning of this film, they always hit some sort of problem, and that shows when they're trying to escape the Star Destroyers in space. They can't go into hyperdrive. And them not being able to go into hyperdrive is a big thing in this movie. So Han has to get creative and evasive maneuvers and heads into the asteroid belt. On the flip side of that, Luke heads to the Dagobah system, finds a strange green creature no taller than 3 feet, giving him all sorts of problems.
Away put your weapon! I mean you no harm!
I wonder who this character is. It can be Yoda.
R2!
So, to be honest, it's a little bit of back and forth for this second act between Luke and his training with Yoda, who reveals himself after Luke is too impatient to find Yoda without realizing it's him the entire time. And Han, Leia, Chewie, along with 3PO, are dealing with the strange things they encounter. All that aside, Vader hires a group of bounty hunters to help find Han and Leia in hopes to get Luke.
Bounty hunters? We don't need that scum.
Yes, sir.
Here we meet Boba Fett, who we last saw in Attack of the Clones, and he was just a small boy. And he saw his daddy get killed. But there's no motivation there. He's just a bounty hunter for Jango Fett. And he seems to know what he's doing and how to help. So after Han evades the Empire, probably for the last time, he heads off to the planet Bespin, which is a colony that floats called Cloud City, home of a man named Lando Calrissian, a friend of Han, but he makes it quite clear he doesn't trust Lando. But even then, Han is a little too smitten with Leia right now, so he's not even sure or thinking clearly if this is a bad idea or not. Oh, by the way, they are seemingly in good hands now. They kiss now and everything. So they're now a thing. Little does he know they're being followed by Boba Fett, which, this is my real question. Away from the continuity error here from Boba Fett being a boy, watching his father get killed, the clone troopers and whatnot. This is my question for this movie. If Boba Fett followed to see where they'd go, how did Vader arrive to bargain with Lando first? Can someone talk to me about that down below? I would love to know if there was something I'm missing there. Luke continues his training, and we get some weird stuff with a tunnel that has a makeshift Vader, and he fights it, and then it explodes, and it shows Luke's head in the Vader suit, which is clearly a metaphor. Yoda is reluctant to even bring Luke on as an apprentice, but tries to get him to see the bigger picture, like the ship is pretty much drowned in the swamp, and Yoda wants Luke to try and use the Force and raise it out. Luke sees it as an impossible feat, and yet he'll say he'll try. And then we probably get our first and only quote worth noting that will be probably forever known and will last, shall I say, maybe for a millennium. I said I was done with bad jokes.
Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
It's a damn good line. So Yoda, like a boss, raises the X-Wing and says, like a boss,
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
And Han arrives at the Cloud City, and Lando greets him with open arms. 3PO gets blown to bits. Lando hits on Leia.
You look absolutely beautiful. You truly belong here with us among the clouds.
And Vader tries to sigh with all this downtime as he waits at the dinner table alone to be revealed that he's there the entire time. Yeah, you know what? I think he's constantly sighing. So finally, Lando double-crosses his buddy old pal Han, and Vader comes up like a boss and says,
Excuse me, but I will not succumb to your blaster.
all in all, during Luke's training, Luke actually receives visions and fears that his friends are in danger. He forgoes his training to help, and Yoda and even Ben apparates himself to convince him that is not a good idea. Luke doesn't listen, and Ben gives him a 10 out of 10. Han is tortured for no reason, and I really feel this is where Vader is kind of an asshole. Like, he used this ball device to extract knowledge from Leia, and now he uses this messy, ugly, jagged looking thing that looks like a metal recliner to hurt Han. What the hell is that thing? But Vader intends to use Leia and Han as bait to lure Luke in order to keep Luke from doing anything foolish like getting himself killed or trying to escape. They're going to freeze him in carbonite. But they don't know if it's stable enough, so they're going to test it on Han first. Yep, they attempt to kill another major character right in front of us and tease us that he may be alive. Woo-wee! That is a good cop-out. But Han's presence is sorely missed after that slab falls.
I know.
So the trap is set. Luke arrives and the trap is sprung. Vader and Luke fight, and it is a pretty awesome fight. But I say, with all the intents and purposes of this scene acting as a finale, I can't help but wonder, what if Luke decided not to engage? Luke either can engage or not engage, but because it's Vader, he's assuming that this is going to be a fight. And I mean, this fight could have gone either way. Luke assumed that this would be a fight, therefore he was impatient to get on with it. And he knew that this was going to be a trap to lure him in and kill him, so therefore he acted accordingly. But that's just going with the grain. Here, Luke could have not done anything. Vader did not do anything to provoke him other than saying he's not a Jedi yet. But he didn't say anything that would prompt a fight. It could have been just a verbal piece of dialogue between the two. They could have rotated around each other, danced around their wordplay, and that could have been the fight itself. Instead, Luke decided to engage. What if he didn't? And he could have saved himself a hand. So Luke and Vader still continued to engage, but it's in this shot with Vader looking exceptionally intimidating and bigger and taller than Luke is in this specific scene. So as I mentioned before, Luke loses his hand and finds out his enemy is actually his father.
I am your father.
Dun, dun, dun. To me, this is a twist of all twists. Of course, many see this as one of the top 10 most effective twists in cinema history. And I'd say it's pretty damn mind-boggling, but I always wonder, what if that twist was less incredible? Like,
I am taller than you.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
that's a pretty incredible twist. The harsh reality that your enemy is taller than you.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
So Luke evades Vader's pleas to join him. I'll become a tall man one day. You'll see.
Shit.
And ends up at the bottom of the city with no way out. He does, however, use the Force to reach out to Leia, and they go back to rescue him. Luke is given a prosthetic arm. Lando and Chewie head off to Tatooine in the Falcon to find Jabba and Boba Fett. And with that plotline dangling in the breeze, we reach the end of Empire Strikes Back. And this movie is, well, it's definitely good, if not great, and I can recognize that, but it's not my favorite. And I know this movie is absolutely a gem to most people, and it's a very great film, but for me, it never really struck a chord with me. The characters are great, the lines are spectacular, and the story expands more for us to learn and understand what the teases have yet to come. But this was just an enjoyable piece of entertainment for me, and that is very much a good thing. Next up is Return of the Jedi, and then we are going to go to the long-awaited sequel trilogy continuing the Star Wars plotline in The Force Awakens. Keep your eyes peeled for those because they're going to come out first before I make a review for The Last Jedi. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And with that said, I would love the Universe Reviews to be a part of your world. So if you can get a chance, like this video or the ones that I have done before it, give them a check out, and I would really love it if you guys could subscribe, help further the cause of the Universe Reviews, where I break down all the TV shows and movies that set up a universe. Thank you all once again so much for watching, and as always, until next time.